This is the Leatherman Wingman, and it's been discounted recently, so I ordered one. A lot of these Leatherman multi-tools prices are going up. Even the rebar now it's in the $100, which is unprecedented. But there's still a couple that are more affordable, such as the Leatherman Bond and the Wingman. To me, the Wingman is interesting because it has a large pair of scissors. I'm gonna test it in a minute. And it also has a one-hand deployable knife, which is very convenient. It reminds me a bit of the knife of the skeletal. So in that sense, it's a bit more practical than these ones that you need to do multiple steps to unfold the tool. So it takes a bit of extra time, extra work. Also comes directly with a pocket clip, so you can carry it in your pocket. Or I noticed that a pocket clip can be used in a different way. So let's say if you're using a tool, doing something with it, and then you want to temporarily put it somewhere close to you, you can just put it with your pocket with a clip. So I found that useful. So let me check the weight. I noticed that it is not very heavy and not very large either. I usually carry this Roxxon M2, and I'm noticing this is very much a very similar profile, just a bit longer, but that means it is kind of okay for carrying in the pocket. Let me check the ounces here. 6.79. It is slightly heavier than the Leatherman rebar, which is 6.6, just a tiny bit heavier. And I'm gonna go and see what are all the tools. Pliers with springs, which we do not have in these other economical tools. The rebar does have replaceable wire cutters, so in that sense it's more durable, and it has crimpers. This one doesn't have crimpers, but has spring-loaded pliers. It's lightweight, one-hand deployable knife. It locks here, and then you can unlock it, fold it back. And let's talk about the scissors. These scissors, I thought they look somewhat big, so I thought it would be very good, but in reality I had a bit of trouble with these scissors. If we're going to do like a paracord test, it struggles a bit. If you were to push the scissors very hard down, then it sort of does the paracord test, but it's not as good as some in some clones. In some clones you have a very thicker scissor that I think that matters. These are a much thinner material. I think that may be the reason why is, and it has a bit of play here. Well, these are riveted about the same. For some reason, seems like these are a little less performing. With that said, for everyday tasks, such as opening a package, which is what I do mostly, these are perfect. Moreover, if I need to really actually cut paracord, this knife has serrations. So because of that, it becomes very good at cutting fibers, materials. So you don't lose much by having these less performing scissors. So I think this still is worthy for me to try for EDC. Let's check out the other tools. It has 2 screwdrivers, which are pretty large. This is a flathead that is very thick, which may work a bit as a pry bar, although they always recommend to not use things as pry bars because it can break. So they want people to be safe. This is the Phillips, and it has these strange notches here, which I kind of googled what they are for. Apparently they are supposed to help identify the screwdriver. This has like a symbol, like a cross and a line, and when these are folded you can see them through this notch and know which is which I don't really think is very necessary. You can just pull both, pick one. So yes, I thought I was a bit over-engineered. I really thought that maybe this notch actually was to weaken this tool, so it could break there and not damage the rest of the tool set. If there was excessive torque, you are producing a mechanical fuse, so to speak, that will protect maybe the more expensive parts of the tool if you're doing a warranty. But that is my theory. That's most likely wrong. Here are the tools on the other side. There is a package opener, which is very nice for a modern life where we receive so much stuff online. Then the can opener, not so useful nowadays because of the a lot of cans have tabs, so, and this may actually work as a bottle cap opener too. There's a wire stripping notch there, which signals that probably is intended for people who work with wiring. Then you have a couple scales with no numbers whatsoever, but the one in centimeters, clearly you can distinguish the millimeters and the centimeters. The one in inches, if you are familiarized, then you may guess it. But basically, every 4 large marks you have an inch. So these are 1/4 inch marks, the larger ones, and then 1/8 and 1/16, if I'm correct. So yeah, that's a ruler. And then here there is a file that's pretty sharp. I'm always afraid that these files might corrode for some reason. There's such a surface area and dirt can get trapped. So I've seen in a lot of tools the first things to rust are these files. And this strikes me as one of those, but we'll have to see. And then here's a small flathead, which probably wouldn't do too much force with it because the file has to be hardened at a very kind of brittle point of hardness, so this will snap if you were to apply too much force, presumably. None of these tools have locks. They have only a spring that's very strong. So, but I think this is a good balance of something very lightweight and portable and utility. To me, scissors are important, so that's why I think I would consider this for an EDC. And it has a bit of the Leatherman quality and everything very polished, which should help with slowing down corrosion, because there's less places for cracks to start to get rusted. So overall, I don't know if these pliers would be very durable. I have no experience with them, but looks like a somewhat affordable Leatherman quality tool. Thank you for watching.